Stick to the end of the video because I have a couple of announcements that I wanted to make, and they're really cool and really exciting. I'm really pumped to tell you about them. So do that, please. If not, you're gonna miss out on something cool. Hey guys, it's Arcana Mortar. My camera is being stupidly unresponsive right now, so I had to like switch the SD card for some reason. So hopefully this continues recording, or else I'm gonna be really mad. So if you see me looking at the mirror, it's because of that, and I'm making sure it's still recording. I'm gonna be doing a story time, and I'm stressed. And we all know when I'm stressed or pissed off or upset, I am the most passionate. And I'm also sorry if I sound really weird in this video. I'm getting over a cold currently. My life has been shit since getting home from Katsugan, and it's not so much like financial problems, it's more of like just a lot of bad timing. First I have the broken laptop still, and then I have this fucking crater sized cavity forming in my tooth, so I have to make a dentist appointment like really soon. And then I also have like a bunch of other personal things going on, and it's just like really bad, having to do with like tax returns and stuff like that, and I'm like really stressed. So I don't like to plan my story times, and I figured I've had this story in the back of my mind for so long now that I'm surprised I haven't told it to you guys. And it kind of just came up randomly today that like, you know what, I want to make this story time today because it's been a couple of years and I feel like I need to talk about it. So by the title, this is about my worst convention experience ever. I'm gonna kind of make a little disclaimer here. I'm not gonna name the con in question because I'm kind of biased in the sense that I've only been to the con once. So I haven't been to the con since this happened. So like, I can't really speak for how the con is now. It might be different, I don't know. So I'm not gonna really name the con. Call out culture really sucks. I'm not about that. Like, I want to make a call out video about my arch nemesis really bad, but I know I'm better than that, so I'm probably never gonna fucking do that because I hate call out culture. Like, I hate it. So I'm not gonna name the con. I'm just gonna talk about the experience I had and why it was my worst experience ever, because I get asked this a lot. I get asked what is my worst con experience, because most of my videos about cons are almost entirely positive, and most of the cons I go to are a really great time, and it's really rare I don't have a good time at a con. Like, it's very rare. There's only been about 3 times I've had bad experiences at a con, and this is the biggest one, so I'm gonna talk about that. So this con was a more local con, and it happened, I think this happened in 2014. This con was a newer con. I think this was maybe its 5th year, if not younger. Like, I wouldn't think it was past its 5th year, so it was a relatively newer con, and it didn't really have a lot of ground to stand on, so it wasn't really well established because, for one, the con couldn't decide on a solid location, so it was like constantly moving around the state. It happened to be that this year the con ended up really close to where I live, and it was only about a 15-minute drive in the next town over. I decided, why the fuck not? So I made a point to go to this con with Savvy and a couple of my friends. The con is advertised as a outdoorsy con. It's partially indoors, but it's mostly an outdoorsy con. Like, a lot of its events are outside. The venue it was at for this year, it was its first year at this venue, obviously, is at an actual state park over where I live, up on Lake Erie. I'm making it like kind of obvious of what con it is without saying the con's name, but I'm just trying to describe the venue. It was its first year at this venue, and when I decided I wanted to go to this con, I noticed that they were doing panels, and this was when I was really big into doing panels. I don't really do panels so much anymore. I actually haven't done panels since this con because I think it just burned me out so bad. I would like to go back into doing panels. Like, maybe someday I'll get back into it because I actually used to have a lot of fun doing panels. But anyway, I thought, well, I should do panels at this con because if you do panels, if you do 4 hours of paneling or more, you get your badge comped. So I was like, okay, that's basically a free badge right there, because the badge was expensive as fuck. So the rules was you had to pay for your badge first, obviously, and then they'll comp you after the convention is over, just so they don't get fucked out of like giving you a badge, you know? So the badge was expensive as fuck, and I think mostly the reason is they're paying for the venue because it's at a state park resort kind of thing, and the badge for this 5-year running convention that was less than 300 people was $50, and if you're not familiar with cons, that's kind of a steep price for a very little con. My first con in 2011 had over 10,000 people, and I remember the weekend badge was only $40, so think of a 10,000 person con that's been established for quite a few years, over 10 years, being a $40 badge, versus a con with less than 300 people, and it's still kind of new, doesn't really have a lot going on, and the badge is $50. put that in perspective. So the badge was kind of really expensive. It was $50 for the weekend pass, and I think like the Saturday pass was $30. So I decided like, well, we can do paneling, and I wanted to do paneling anyway for the con, so I scheduled 2 panels. One of them was one of my favorite panels to do, which is called Let's Read Hentai Out Loud, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an 18+ panel where we go in, like, I find the grossest hentai, like, in the depths of the internet to do these panels, and most people do enjoy it. But I will warn you that if I ever do this panel again and you go to it, it's really gross, because I find the nastiest, most fucked up fucking hentai that I can find, because I feel like those are the most fun. And what we do is we basically take turns, like I'll like call people up and we like read the hentai out loud, and it's really hilarious. So I did that panel, and I think that was like my 3rd year doing that panel, but the 1st year for this con, obviously. And then I did another panel, which was like an ask panel for like Homestuck characters. I had to make that one 18+ as well, because I was afraid that the content would be too much for like minors, and I didn't really want to get in trouble for it. I swear a lot. I was really worried about that, and like in case sexual like stuff ever came up in the panel, like it was okay because it was 18 and up. So I had 2 18+ panels, and both of them were 2 hours. So that's 4 hours of paneling right there, and I was actually surprised they approved them so willingly to be 2 hours, and I was just like, okay. So I'm guessing they were kind of desperate for panels, but at first when they accepted my panels, they were overlapping, and I was just like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And that was the first problem, was that I had the overlapping panels, and it took them like a minute to fix it, but when they did, like it ended up working, and I was like, okay, it's no big deal, it's a mistake, because mistakes happen, you know, people are only human, and that's happened at other cons before. The weekend of the con, and I pay my fucking $50 for the badge, and so does Savvy, and the rule was like the co-panelist gets their badge comp too, by the way. So we pay for our badges, and we're at this con, and my panel for both nights aren't till late at night. They're not till like after like 11 o'clock. My battery's dying. Fucking awesome. So basically the whole convention, we're kind of just sitting there, because there ain't shit to do at this fucking stupid little convention in the middle of nowhere. The dealer's room was really sad. It was maybe the size of like my kitchen. I know that sounds like really exaggerated, but I'm like not even shitting you, that it was a very small room, and it was literally like a table, and then you just walk around the table, and there was like stuff up against the walls, and like that was the dealer's room, and it was like really small. It couldn't have been bigger than like a really tiny classroom. Like it was really small, and it was really cramped, but it was also, like I said, the 5th year this con had been going on, so I'm like, whatever. And honestly, the con isn't really meant to have, like, the dealer's room was like an outdoorsy con, so of course they had a lot of the outdoor activities, and one of the ones they were really advertising was a Slenderman hike, where at night you would go into the woods of the state park, like on the boardwalk, and there would be Slenderman. It was supposed to be really spooky. Apparently the con didn't get permission from the state park to do this. The Slenderman hike ended up being us standing in a line to go walk up to a Slenderman that was like 15 feet away. Like, I shit you not. That's all it was, and it was like super fucking overhyped because the con was too stupid to get permission from the state park to do the thing, and I thought that was really fucking dumb. Like, why wouldn't you ask about that? Because the boardwalk closes after a certain time, and it was like shit like that kept happening. And then like there was supposed to be a rave, and the rave didn't happen because they didn't get permission to do the rave either, so they had to do it like in this amphitheater outside, and they like barely were able to do it, and it ended up just being some stupid glow stick party. Like, it wasn't even like a real fucking rave. Like, it is what it is, but the con obviously didn't communicate with the state park about anything, and that's kind of where like I was just like, what the fuck is this? So my panels come around, and the first one I'm doing, I believe, was the ask panel, because whenever I've done panels at other cons, it's kind of like you just walk into the room and you just get started. Like, there's usually guys sitting in a chair outside of the room, and you talk to them, be like, hey, I'm this for this panel, and they're just like, okay, and you kind of go in. Well, for this convention, there was no guy sitting in the chair outside of the room, and I'm just like, okay, well, where the fuck do we go? Because they don't really explain that to you. They didn't really explain to us anywhere, and they tried to tell me that there was an email sent, and I never got an email to explain this. So I kind of just like, okay, well, I guess we just go in there and do the thing. So we're about like 10 minutes into this ask panel, and this convention staff member busts into the room, and she looks at me like, who's the fucking lead panelist here? And I'm just like, it's me. And she's like, get over here, yelling at me like I have to go to the goddamn principal's office. It was really awkward because there was an audience and they're all looking like they looked really uncomfortable about this, like staff member basically roasting me in front of the fucking audience. She's like, get over here. And then she starts bitching at me like in front of my panel that I needed to sign in. And I'm just like, well, first of fucking all, like, why are you doing this here? Go out there in the hallway and there is a desk 500 feet down the fucking hallway that apparently we were supposed to check into. And they're like, did you get the email? I'm like, I never got an email. And I gave them my email. I gave them the correct email. Like, I showed them what I was sending when I applied for the panels in the first place. And they're like, well, okay. So just so you know, you need to check in. This lady was fucking rude. So that was one of the things that pissed me off about the con, was I basically got yelled at in front of my audience for this panel. And that was like really, honestly, really embarrassing. That was really humiliating. And I'm still really embarrassed about that, because it was like when a fucking teacher calls you out to be sent to the principal's office, the whole room goes quiet and they're looking at you like, what the fuck? Anyway, after that happens, the panel goes on. It's an okay panel. There wasn't a lot of people that showed up because the con is small. We only had maybe like 10 people and only like 2 people were asking questions. I'm like, it's an ask panel. Like, why aren't you fucking asking questions? But the panel went okay because it was like our first time doing an ask panel. So that was the first panel. And then the second panel was the hentai one, and that one went a lot better. I didn't have any interruptions. So the weekend comes to an end. It's Sunday. We're only going to con, get the money back for our badges. And I go there and I'm like, okay, I need my money for my badges. I did the 4 hours of paneling, and they're like, we can't give you your money back. And I'm like, why? Well, the rules was you have to do 4 hours of paneling inside and outside. And there's actually like 2 other fucking staff members next to this person telling me this, because apparently this person was like the con op. There was like 2 other people like next to this con op, and they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like they didn't even hear about this rule. So I'm kind of sitting there like kind of freaking out because wow, we just shelled out $100 for this shit con, and we're not even gonna get our badges back for doing our fucking panels that we got yelled at in, like, thanks. So I'm kind of like freaking out, like having a panic attack. I got really overwhelmed, like, wow, I'm not gonna get my money back. Like, this is terrible. This is not what I planned. This be stress-free. I was hoping to get what I paid for back because that was what was promised. Literally nobody else knew about this rule that worked at the con except for this person. And she's like, well, if you read the email, I'm like, I didn't get a fucking email, and I explained that, like, I never got the email, and that's why the lady yelled at me that one night for the one panel, and I never got the email that said that you had to do outside panels and inside panels, like, and it was bullshit, and, like, I actually, like, started crying, like, because I was so upset. This was entirely misleading. The communication was so bad with this con, and she ended up comping me one of the badges, and not Savannah's, which was bullshit. I tried to fight back for the second badge, but they really weren't helpful at all. That was the worst convention experience I ever had. Was I never got my badge money back for doing panels that I did. I stayed the whole 2 hours and did them. They were very good panels for like being such a little con. People liked them. There was a couple of incidents with like the whole signing in shit, but it's just like I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to. And with the whole misleading shit without being an outside and inside panel, I'm pretty sure a lot of people got fucked over that weekend. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are still mad about it because I made a point to never go to that con again ever since that happened. I'm one of those people that I don't get pissed off right away about something, because at first when the weekend was over, I'm like, you know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't the worst con experience ever. It was. I'm one of those people that gets mad later because I think about it more, and I think about, wow, I really let them walk all over me during that, and that was a really shitty thing that con did. That con was awful. Nothing worked out that entire weekend, and I feel really bad dragging this con like this because a lot of my friends really enjoyed the con. They have a wonderful time there. I have friends who do panels there, and they really love the staff. That's cool, but I'm like, I just had a really bad experience with the con. Like, I don't know if it was just a really bad year to do it. Like, I'm not sure if it's different now. Like, I haven't heard much about the con. Like, it's usually just people are kind of indifferent about it, so I don't know. I haven't been there since then, and it's been like fucking 3 or 4 years. That's my experience with the con. I'm not gonna go back. I don't plan to go back, because it's been at this location ever since, but I still won't go back just because of that. Like, I just thought it was really crappy that fucking 300 person con con with $50 badges and the communication sucked and none of the events actually happened. Like, people are paying money to go to a con that isn't even working. Like, you're not going through the things that you're advertising, and I think that is just really shitty to do that. That's like some DashCon bullshit where you're like promising all this stuff and it never happens. Like, people are spending their money on this kind of shit. I'm almost sorry for the con that they kind of just went, well, fuck, we didn't get permission. They didn't really like offer to comp people, because I know a lot of people were upset, especially about the whole Slenderman hike, because that was like really hyped up. Like, that was like one of their main advertising things, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with the con anymore, so I can't really tell you. That's why I'm not gonna really name the con, because I don't think it's really fair to base it off one experience, but I've also made the choice to not go back. That's my worst convention experience. Thank you so much for watching. The cool announcements that I wanted to do at the end of the video that I'm making you sit here for is I will be going to WonderCon again. Literally, I'm going by the skin of my teeth because I'm apparently doing a cool sponsorship thing. I can't really like say exactly what it is, but I have a sponsorship and it's really exciting, and I'm really glad to return to LA before I move there to go to WonderCon again, because I had a lot of fun last year, even though I went the 2 days because I got like a terrible rash. I can't wait to see you guys again in California before I move there. Saying this like I'm not gonna come back, but I'll be returning to WonderCon for a sponsorship kind of thing, and I'm like super excited. So those are really cool things that I wanted to tell you. I also have a semi-salad convention lineup. I'll put it right here just so you can guys see what I have planned for this year. This is also subject to change depending on financial shit, because once again, fucking struggle bus is real. So there's that for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Sorry if it wasn't very funny or like happy, but literally that's like the worst con. I didn't even vlog. Like, there's not even a vlog for this convention. You won't find it because there's no vlog. That's how shitty it was. Like, there was no vlog for this convention. Thank you so much for watching. I do storytime videos like this. I do convention vlogging. I do all sorts of shenanigans. So if you're new here, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!